Antonio was alone in the house that night when he decided to walk downstairs, holding his phone for light. When he reached for the switch, nothing happened. The lights refused to come on, leaving only the faint glow of his camera guiding him through the shadows. He moved forward carefully until he stepped into the dining room, where the table sat silent and undisturbed. That's when everything shifted.
Tengo mucho miedo. Me quedé solo en la casa. Me han pasado cosas desde que vi ese maldito video. Escucho cosas. No hay luz. No sé qué hacer. Escucho muchas cosas. Ay, Dios, tengo miedo. ¿Qué pedo? ¿Qué pedo? ¿Qué pedo? ¿Qué pedo? ¿Quién está ahí? ¿Qué pedo? ¿Qué pedo? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? No mames.
A dining chair suddenly scraped across the floor, dragging itself back with a slow, intentional movement. It was as if an unseen presence had pulled it. The sound rang through the house, and Antonio froze, his breath tight and uneven, as fear crawled over him. The video cuts out moments later, leaving viewers unnerved and guessing what kind of paranormal activity had taken hold. If a chair could slide with that much force, what supernatural thing might have been hiding in the shadows waiting for him? And who can say how much darker the haunting became after the camera stopped recording?
¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es eso? No mames.
Two girls were on a late-night road trip, laughing and singing along to their playlist as the car rolled down a long stretch of highway. The night outside was silent, their headlights slicing through the heavy fog that clung low across the pavement. This was the route locals called the Haunted Highway, infamous for the ghostly woman in white said to wander the roadside after dark. They had joked about the legend earlier, never really believing the tales. But that didn't last long.
Why she's so fancy.
I think I see her.
Do you actually?
Unless that's just a light post, but it looks like something white over there.
Oh yeah. No, you guys, we're getting haunted as Did they stop? No.
She turned. Or wait, did she?
She's walking the...
As they rounded a bend, one girl suddenly told the other she had seen something. The passenger looked up just in time to catch a glimpse of a pale figure ahead, dressed entirely in white, standing near the edge of the road. Her movements seemed unnatural as she shifted. The driver panicked and pressed the gas, and the figure vanished the moment they passed her. They looked back, hearts racing, but the highway was empty once more. No car, no person, only the sound of their tires echoing across the asphalt. Whether it was a real woman or the spirit locals warned them about, neither girl said a single word for the rest of the drive. Rosanna's haunting has turned into one of the longest and most disturbing paranormal cases we've ever followed. She's tried everything imaginable, spoken with countless investigators, attempted cleansing rituals over and over, changed bedrooms, changed habits. But instead of easing up, the supernatural activity has only intensified. Early one morning, she jolted awake after hearing a toy she was certain had stopped working long ago. Still confused, she grabbed her phone and went to take a look.
J'en ai marre, j'en ai marre, j'en ai marre. Ouais, ok. Alors le choupi, il est tout en haut de l'étagère là-bas. Et il ne marche plus. Voilà. Classique. Regarde, il est à 0. Il marchait plus. Tout le monde est super, je sais pas. Tais-toi. Tais-toi. J'ai entendu. Je suis pas folle. J'ai entendu.
When she was recording, she didn't realize the shadow figure drifting right in front of her. She only discovered it later after viewers pointed it out to her. What made this whole moment even more chilling was that the toy's batteries had been dead for months. So for it to suddenly power on by itself, paired with that shifting dark silhouette and the faint voice whispering, "Hello."
Tais-toi, tais-toi, tais-toi.
Coming from inside the bathroom made everything feel far more deliberate, almost as if something lurking in the house was trying to draw her in. Viewers also noticed something else unsettling. The bathroom door was open, and in countless haunting cases, bathrooms often become hot spots for paranormal activity. Some investigators believe mirrors act as gateways for spirits. Others think the constant movement of water attracts or intensifies supernatural energy. And some claim bathrooms are simply tight, enclosed areas where shadows and movements hide more easily. For Rosanna, all of these details lead to a terrifying conclusion. Whatever is in her home is becoming more aggressive. She's desperate for real help, especially since she wants to bring her kids home, but she's terrified of exposing them to something potentially demonic. Until someone can tell her exactly what she's dealing with, Rosanna remains trapped in fear, and her case is still completely unresolved. A ghost hunter and his team visited a house that once belonged to an elderly couple who had passed away, leaving the place untouched and abandoned for years. They were only beginning to set up their equipment in the living room when the investigators suddenly heard a noise coming from one of the back rooms. His first thought was simple, probably a rat or maybe something knocked over by a draft. But when he stepped into the room, this is what he witnessed.
Dar nu se vede nimic. Deci se aude, dar nu se vede. Mamă, frate, fii atent! Holy shit! Vai, nu mai știu să vorbesc. Nu mai pot, băi. Ce-o zis? Îmi pun oala în cap.
If it had only been the window moving, maybe, just maybe, he could have convinced himself it was something natural. But the moment that old doll began to speak, he instantly knew this had nothing to do with rodents or a loose frame. Something else was inside that house, and it seemed to be revealing itself slowly, almost intentionally, as if it wanted them to notice. From there, the paranormal activity escalated. Cold pockets of air kept drifting between the crew members, and a picture frame on the wall repeatedly tilted back and forth, like someone unseen was trying to get their attention. Every sign pointed to the same truth. Something or someone was inside that home with them. After sweeping the entire building and confirming no living person was present, they decided to try communicating with whatever spirit remained there. Watch closely.
Dă tabloul la jos, poți? Ia să vedem că...
Lacrima mă iubit.
Oricare spirit ai afla în balcon, oricare entitate, îți ordon să dai tabloul la jos cu doamna Timea. Băga mea și pula în dracu, gata, eu nu ți-am plecat acasă. Am băgat pula mea să...
When he asked the spirit to pull down the picture frame, and it actually moved, viewers immediately started theorizing.
Mă, mare, cheamă să clar. Hai de pula mea. Fai de ca, hai să plecăm, Ionuț. Hai de pula. Hai de pula.
Some believe the ghost was expressing anger or frustration. Others think it was simply responding to recognition, thankful that someone finally acknowledged its presence. A few even suggested the frame might hold a photograph or memory connected to the couple who once lived there. And pulling it down was its way of pointing to unfinished business. The team then tried another approach, hoping to learn more about the spirit's story.
Since when are you dead?
Prizonier.
Doamne, prizonier a fost în război. Give me a number.
Leonard.
Da. Bă, să dea dracu, eu vorbesc în engleză și am răspund în română, mă.
Sometimes spirits who struggle to cross over aren't lingering because they choose to. Some remain because they're confused, unable to accept their death. Others stay because of emotional attachment, a memory, a person, or an object they can't let go of. And in certain cases, they linger because they're waiting for someone to help them complete something they never finished in life. The investigators continued communicating, testing how responsive and aware the supernatural presence truly was.
Ladă. Închid. Ana Maria, închide ușa aia, oleacă, dacă poți.
Ana Maria, Ana
Ia, marș de aici, Ionuț.
Ce ai, mă? Nu, dar să te bei nimeni.
Băi, s-o închis ușa, tu ești nebun la cap?
Ce, bă? Hai, chiar ai.
Fortunately, their encounter that night stayed calm. The spirit never tried to harm or attack them. Instead, its behavior felt intelligent and purposeful, like it carried a message it couldn't fully express. But why it still lingers inside that house, and why it hasn't crossed over, remains something the team has yet to uncover. So until they learn more and share further updates, this haunting remains unsolved. A mother named Monique put together a compilation of the strange things that have been happening inside her home. And the strangest part? There's a pattern. Every single incident seems to involve only her baby's belongings. Nothing else in the house ever moves or shifts. Just the baby's things. And for reasons she can't shake, Monique believes it's her grandmother trying to make her presence known. Watch closely. At first glance, you might immediately assume gravity, vibrations, or something simple until you hear why Monique thinks it's her grandmother. Years ago, her grandmother was obsessed with protecting every newborn in the family. She always said babies arrived with angels still clinging to them. She also bought musical toys for every grandchild, insisting music kept children safe. And the day Monique brought her baby home, she swears she smelled her grandmother's perfume, exactly the same scent, right beside the crib. So now, seeing only the baby's toys activate softly, gently, almost like someone playing with the child from the other side, she can't shake the feeling that her grandmother is checking in. But if it isn't her grandma or a friendly spirit, many people have warned Monique to sage the house, open every window, and let whatever energy is inside move on. But would that truly help? Or could it make the haunting worse? I'll leave that for you to decide. A woman named Hannah has been trying to solve one of the strangest mysteries she's faced since becoming a mother. The invisible person her daughter insists is her friend. When you're caring for a new baby, your mind fills with endless questions. Why won't she sleep through the night? Is that rash something serious? Why is she refusing to eat? And for issues like those, there's always someone to ask. Doctors, relatives, friends, even late-night searches online. But this situation, this is different. Because how do you explain your child chatting with someone you cannot see without being told you're overreacting? Or worse, having people judge your daughter as unusual. One evening, Hannah decided she needed real answers. Watch closely.
You hold the camera, and all you have to do with this is you walk it around because it's taking a video. So you don't need to snap any pictures, you can walk it around. Do you know if Joe's down here?
Joe's right there sitting.
He's right there sitting?
Yeah.
Can you tilt the camera, see if you can get him on the video?
Yeah.
Is he still in the chair?
This is where he sleeps. He just sleeps like that.
He sleeps down here.
Yeah, I can't see him because he doesn't.
He's asleep.
No, you can't sit down there. This is not a bed. That is a bed. Just said that. This is a bed or his friend's chair.
Oh.
But he doesn't see me.
He doesn't see you?
He doesn't see me for a long time. He doesn't see me for minutes. Hundreds. He just sees me sometimes.
He just sees you sometimes. Do you think Joe has anything under the house?
Mama says something that's on here. The little breeze.
Just a little breeze.
But he doesn't play with this balloon.
He doesn't play with the balloon.
I don't put it on the cat if he wants to play. Okay.
What unsettled her the most was when Hazel, her little girl, casually mentioned that his friends sleep there. That meant it wasn't just one unseen presence in the house. It was more than one, and viewers quickly pointed something out. The camera glitched at the exact moment Hazel pointed toward the chair and looked beneath it. Some claim that's no accident, that electronics can distort when aimed at a spirit. Others say it could simply be interference, a weak signal, or even a small lens issue. But in this case, the timing felt far too precise. Things only became creepier. One night, while tucking Hazel into bed, Hannah brought up Joe again, hoping for more clues that might help her understand what was going on. By then, she had already uncovered the last names of the children who once lived in the Holmes home years before, and she wanted to know if Joe's surname might match. What happened next stunned her.
It's Joe's birthday. It's just downstairs.
It's Joe's birthday downstairs.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
Joe's birthday. It's like flowers. Did you like the flower?
He likes
Little
flowers.
flowers and big flowers.
Joe likes
And
flowers.
he likes it. He likes that with the flowers and he said,
Oh, does he make silly jokes?
yeah.
Do you know what Joe's last name is?
No.
His last name is Joe? Is that? Does he have a different name?
Yeah. He has a different name called E and R and P and he pals with that later than that pals Joe.
Little Hazel, who can barely spell her own name, began spelling out Joe's last name, and she got 5 of the 7 letters correct, something Hannah still can't believe. She refuses to share the name publicly out of respect for the family, but the reality remains. Hazel should never have known it. For a while, the interactions between Hazel and Joe seemed harmless, and even sweet. But then came a twist Hannah never saw coming. One evening downstairs, Hannah grabbed a book about being nervous. Without hesitation, Hazel said, "Joe gets nervous sometimes." When Hannah asked why, Hazel replied, "Joe gets nervous when John comes in." But who was John? And how did another figure suddenly enter the story? Watch this.
Who's John?
The person that really mean to me.
He's really mean to you. Where does he live?
He was next to Joe's house. But
There'll be a tray.
Okay.
At this point, Hannah started talking about saging the house. As she put it, she already had enough going on without dealing with a ghost, let alone 2 spirits with unresolved problems. She even joked about a terrifying scenario. Imagine disliking your neighbor your entire life, Then both of you die, and you still end up stuck living next to each other in the afterlife. But the drama didn't stop with ghostly names. Soon, strange activity started happening around the house. One day, while in the workshop, built by the previous homeowner, Hannah captured something unsettling on camera. Take a look.
So I'm going to quickly finish before I get out. The one other thing up here that is his is this box, and my husband stacked all of our stuff on top of it, so I can't, it's too heavy for me to open it. I think from memory there wasn't anything in here, and that just says Peninsula and Oriental Steam Navigation, and there's some like old ripped up stickers on there, but I might have more of a look later. When my husband is here, I'm going to get him to come down with me because I'm getting a little bit freaked out. So that is the workshop tour. Nothing that I've found so far with any names on it, but I will keep looking. Oh, what the f was that? Okay, I'm hearing noises now, so I'm going to get out. Goodbye.
So let me ask you this. If you were in Hannah's place, how would you deal with it? Would you pack up and leave, call for help, or try to coexist with Joe? It was late enough that the night market should have felt calm, yet every metal shutter was locked down tight, and the entire place looked abandoned, except for May walking through the deserted aisles. She knew the market was closed and shouldn't have carried a single sound, which is why the first faint scream froze her completely, echoing like someone crying out in pain from deep within the steel-covered stalls. She followed the noise slowly, each step making the sound sharper and more desperate until it felt like it was right beside her. But no matter how many times she turned, there was never anyone in sight.
Imagínate andar por la central de abastos y oír esto.
The screaming and crying kept growing louder as she moved, yet she couldn't pinpoint the source, even when it seemed only feet away. By the time she reached the far end of the walkway, the noise was so intense it felt like it was coming from the walls themselves, and she spun around, expecting someone to appear. But every shutter remained sealed, like they hadn't budged in hours. That was the moment she realized she hadn't been following a person at all, and the way the sound stopped instantly, the moment she quit filming, as if the presence sensed she understood, made the silence afterward feel even heavier. May had stepped straight into something desperate to be heard, and the fact that it never revealed itself only confirmed she had been listening to a ghost. A woman living far out in the Appalachian Mountains was recording a song when she suddenly felt eyes on her, as if something unseen had fixed its attention on her. She began hearing slow footsteps, soft, steady, almost pacing, and faint whispers she couldn't make out, urging her to keep watching and listening closely.
Just had a whole chill go down my spine like I'm being watched. I feel really disoriented right now. I don't know which way I came in. I feel like someone's stalking me. I keep hearing people talking, but no one's here. Just me. I feel like you guys aren't my only audience.
Viewers played that moment back countless times, and many swear they heard a voice quietly whisper, "Who are you?" Just before the clip cuts off, the sound becomes low and masculine, almost like someone standing just beyond the camera's edge. And when a cold chill ran through her body, she knew she had to get out of there immediately. But this wasn't a single strange incident. It happened again. This time, she was rehearsing in her backyard when something else occurred. Watch closely.
I'm in my backyard, so I can't. Imagine anything would go wrong. Worst comes to worst, I'll run inside. So if someone or something is here, then it followed me home. It's really quiet. It's almost dark.
Right before she begins singing, something appears to peek out from behind a tree. It's only a quick glimpse, but it looks like part of a face, and she insists the noise didn't resemble any animal. It sounded like a person shifting their weight, someone trying hard not to be noticed. And this is where the debate begins. Some viewers think she's dealing with a stalker or a stranger hiding deep in the woods, because in the Appalachian Mountains, you hear plenty of stories about people living off-grid, loners who roam the forests or individuals who watch silently without ever stepping forward. Others believe this could be something much stranger, connected to the unexplained Appalachian folklore locals warn about. But then there are those who believe the whispers, the peeking figure, and the perfectly timed rustling are too synchronized to be human. They think she's facing something supernatural, something that isn't entirely human, something that may have been watching her for a very long time. So is this a hidden person in the woods, or a paranormal presence stalking her? I'll let you decide. The Ogden Paranormal Team chose to spend the night inside a notoriously haunted site called Asylum 49, a location long whispered about as one of the most intensely active places in the entire state. During part of their investigation, two members, a man and a woman, sat quietly in a dim room, watching and waiting to see if any paranormal activity would occur, while the rest of the crew monitored from another section. What happened next was deeply unsettling.
What was that? It sounded like a whisper across. That was something against the door. Like something with the mouth. Yeah, let's get closer. You notice that? Yeah, that's scary. It started off back there and now it's right here. Come here.
For several minutes, nothing moved at all. The only thing breaking the silence was the faint hum of their gear. Then, without warning, gentle noises began drifting from behind them, like distant shuffling or something shifting in the shadows just out of sight. The two exchanged uneasy looks, before slowly turning around together. The camera follows their movement, revealing an empty space, no figure, no motion. Yet the strange sound lingers for another moment before disappearing completely. No one else had been anywhere near that area, and the team later verified through their static cameras that not a single person had entered the room during the haunting, had entered or left during that time, making this one of the eeriest moments from their night inside Asylum 49.